to Fabric Monday. Today we'll talk about Kusto optimization using parameters. What exactly am I talking about? I'm talking about Eventhouse. Eventhouse in Fabric contains Kusto databases. These are used for real-time data ingestion. We usually need them for real-time. In this case, we probably want to use direct query. So the changes that are made in the visual will be translated to the queries in Kusto. And Kusto uses KQL. There are some challenges when translating the changes in the visuals, the filters in the visuals, to the KQL language. Let's discover more about it. Here I'm using a query set in an Eventhouse. I can make queries over the Kusto database. The language used is KQL. I have a table called taxi rights, and I'm making a filter over this table according to the ingestion time of the record. The KQL query, the syntax of KQL, has some features which are difficult to be expressed in the visuals in Power BI. The visuals have some difficulty to translate these filters to KQL. Two of them, which I'm talking about, is the ago and the bin. The ago means to filter dates. I'm filtering a date, but I'm filtering a date from today, from now. I want the date to be bigger than 1 day ago, bigger than 7 days ago, or bigger than 30 days ago. I'm looking for some records sometime ago, sometime before. This is a very interesting filter and difficult to translate to the KQL syntax. The other feature, also difficult to translate to KQL, is the bin feature. What the bin feature does? In this case I'm summarizing sum the total amount. If I'm only summarizing, I would receive only one record, only the total, the sum. No, but I'm making a summary grouped by something. Okay, I can group by some field, but I'm grouped by bin. What this means? In this case, I'm using the field ingested time, and I'm making a group according a specific period of time. In this case, it makes a bin on the values of ingested time. Bins of 1 hour, 7 days, 1 day. So it will sum the values for each hour I have in the ingested time. Or it will sum the values for each 7 hours, and so on. If their goal is already difficult to translate from Power BI to Kusto, the bin even worse, even more difficult to translate from Power BI to Kusto. I can execute these queries, check the result. There it is. So I have these queries which I can use in Kusto. How can we send these queries in an optimized way from Power BI to Kusto? There is one solution. We can use a function in Kusto. We create a function to generate the result of these queries. And this function will receive a parameter, period, for example. In the query, the function uses the parameter to define the ago value and the bin value. So it's not a fixed value, it's defined by the parameter. But the parameter is period, and now I'm talking about t period in t bin. Yes, because the function will receive one parameter which will be passed by a slicer, for example. And then we need to translate this one parameter into the values that we want. In this example, the parameter can be 1 day, 7 days, or 1 month. Then I translate this parameter to the t period, which is used in the ago statement of the query. Alright, I translate this to the t bin, which is used in the t bin argument of the query. My function is already created. I can run again to ensure that I created the function is already there. Now I need to use this function in the Power BI environment. How will I use this function in the Power BI environment? I have it here in my Power BI report, half done. I created a calculated table, and this calculated table contains the values which will be sent as parameter to my Kusto query. 1 day, 7 days, and 1 month. These will be sent as parameters. In the report, I used this calculated table and I defined a slicer based on the labels of this calculated table. Now I need to go back to Power Query. In Power Query, I need to create a parameter, new parameter. Let's call this parameter period. The parameter has a string value. Let's specify 1 day as the default. Okay, let's close Power Query. Now I need to make a link between my calculated table and that parameter. I can do this on the model view. I have here the table time filter. From my calculated table, I select the field label, advanced, and here the last item on the advanced is bin to parameter. This allows me to link the field to a parameter which I use in Power Query. So bin to parameter, and I select the parameter, period. Continue. That's it. Now I have the parameter and the slicer. Now I need to ensure that I call my function using this parameter. Here I have a single line calling my function getRides and passing a value. A single line calling the function. Let's open Power Query. Here I have the table taxi-rides. This table at the moment is linked directly to the Kusto table, taxi-rides. It will not be linked to the table anymore. I will remove this table name. Okay. Enter. It brings me the name of the elements in my Eventhouse, including the name of the function getRides. So I go on the getRides function, and it asks me to specify a parameter. I specify period as a parameter. Okay. It built the statement, but it built the statement with quotes. In this case, it doesn't identify the parameter. I need to remove the quotes and the parameter will be identified. That's it. I have my call to the function built. Let's close Power Query. And now in my report, I can build a table with the ingested time and the total. Let's ask it to be a table to simplify. And there it is, a table with the ingested time and total. For 1 day, for 1 month, or for 7 days. According to my selection in the slicer, the parameter has been passed to the function and the function is being executed and returning the information. In this way, by using a function with the most optimized query possible, we ensure that we can access Kusto data in a very optimized way. Thank you very much for watching and see you next week.